Okay, guys, it is April 28th, 2012, and I want to talk about the best, easiest, optimal use of the MOWG-Pro system right now. And by that, I mean this: the least amount of effort, the least amount of IT knowledge, the least amount of HTML knowledge. You almost have to have no IT knowledge, no HTML knowledge. All you have to know is how to create a domain on a hosting account and how to use FTP, which we teach you if you need it. It's very simple, really. It's just a handful of steps to learn how that works. And after that, follow some simple instructions, and you are going to be able to create projects in 20 minutes that are so powerful that you just wait a little longer, follow our steps, do exactly what we say here, and you'll see how easy this is. And then just show it to a few people all at once, and the first guy to say yes is going to run and buy it, and everyone else is out of the opportunity in that area because you're going to work exclusively with one client, and even working with them doesn't mean anything. You're basically done already. You can just hit a button once every week or so and walk away, have some coffee, light your computer, do about 15-20 minutes of work completely hands-free. And that's it. That's all you have to do to completely service the client and make the client feel like you're doing an incredible job, something the client could never do himself or herself. Beyond that, there's no stigma. And by that I mean, if you go to your neighbor right now and start talking about an internet money-making opportunity, what's the first thing that they usually do? They kind of stiffen up, right? They start to glance around looking for a way out of the conversation. Because what's the first thing that crosses their mind? Probably a scam, right? Like the first thing that runs through their mind is that's probably a scam. I'm going to show you something far easier. It's easier to rank. It's easier to maintain. It's the easiest thing you can possibly do. And when we talk about the breakdown in terms of the amount you make per hour for hour of effort you put in, here's basically the answer. It takes 20 minutes to do the work, about 2 weeks of waiting for the pages to index, another maybe 2 or 3 weeks of waiting for the results to pop in that you need to show somebody, and then you can immediately, and you don't even need to do that, that's optional, but you can. I'll show you in a minute what it looks like and you'll see the point. And then you simply probably spend a handful of minutes sending off a couple of letters to guys who would be interested in that project. You'll see that too. And then the first one to buy it gets it. And so really the physical amount of time you put into that project is under an hour, without question. That's the total time. Yeah, and that's just waiting for Google to catch up with the indexing. It could be a lot faster and the results could kick in quicker. But in the meantime, you don't have to wait. Just do another project, another project, another project, another project. Okay, because it takes like 20 minutes per. And then as they take off and start working, then start lining up the sales, like 40 minutes to find a buyer and answer their questions on the phone and get them convinced, and then they run and buy before anyone else does. Okay, and that's it. that's it. So if you sell it for 2,500 or 5,000 or whatever it is, you're getting paid 2,500 or 5,000 an hour for the work you do, and you had to have no technical skills, really, nothing more than anyone needs to know in order to be able to put a domain on a hosting account and upload files to it through FTP. Really, through our own software, it does it. You just need to know the FTP coordinates and all that stuff. If you can handle that, which we teach you, and on the 10-day free trial, you can start creating these runs yourself and seeing how it works. As a matter of fact, that's the biggest thing happening right now. Then you can make a ridiculous amount of money. So let me just show you a stupid, simple example of what that looks like between two files, and let me just make the point this way. I went to our new Universal Affiliate Program. All right, that's the latest thing we created. It's called the V3. It's the version 3 of what we used to always call the placeholder website. And I created something people were begging me for, a catch-all page that you can plug and play any keyword combinations into, any geo-targeting arrangement into, like city-state list. And we have a list of all the city-states in the US. It's over 32,000. Okay, so you can plug any combination of these, just copy and paste them where they need to go, and you can put them in your file so you can saturate that area for the keywords for local search. And I'll explain the value of that in just a minute. Here, let me make you two guarantees right now so you understand the point. When you think in terms of internet money-making opportunities, searches on the internet, how many people search for something like make money now? and they're trying to find you. And even then, you don't want to think about the main keyword like make money now, because that's already really, really hard to get. You have to beat everyone else who's been there for years on make money now. And that stinks. I mean, trying to beat everyone to get on the front page is very tough. And then once you're there, you're knocking them down. And so they have to regain the footing. So you're in constant competition. That's horrible. There's a far cleaner way to make a lot. Let me make you two guarantees right now. You'll understand this immediately. It just makes sense immediately. And that's this. First of all, let me just take the focus off. Think about this a second. I guarantee you, and I'm talking to the masses here, so you're going to realize this rings true. First guarantee is that your neighbor, somebody living next door, has probably never done a search on the internet for Mike Filsame's butterfly effect marketing program. All right? And talking to the masses here, your neighbor's probably never even heard of Mike Filsame. Or if one of them has, the other one on the other side of you probably hasn't. Okay? Your neighbor probably has never done a search for something very specific like that. However, your neighbor, the very same neighbor, and this is guarantee number 2, has probably done a search for a local plumber or doctor or dentist or lawyer or financial advisor or birthday clown for the kids or wedding catering or an Italian restaurant, anything like that. And I guarantee not only have they probably done that search, they have probably done multiple such searches per year, most likely 1, 2, or 3 of them this month alone, right? Looking for something. That should ring completely true. If your neighbor's between, say, 20 years old and 60 years old, chances are they have searched for a local plumber, doctor, dentist, veterinarian, acupuncturist, chocolatier, financial advisor, roofing contractor, anything you can think of, landscaping, anything you can think of. Okay? And they probably do a majority of such searches per month. And that's not just your one neighbor. The neighbor on the other side of you, same thing. The neighbors across the street, same thing. The neighbors behind you, same thing. All the way around the block, same thing. Now let's stop and think. Which are there more searches for on the internet? Local searches like that? Because Google is the new yellow pages. All right? When people are looking on there, they're trying to find someone to drive to, like a dentist, or they need someone to come to them, like a plumber. Okay? That is the most common type of search, or would you think, internet money-making opportunities. And think of your neighbors when you think of it. Chances are really good you'll agree immediately. Local search is by far the easiest way to do work, such that when your client does a search on Google, that they're going to wind up seeing one of your pages, and they're not going to have a stigma. They're not going to feel stiffened up. They're going to see that you're saying, this is a good Richland, Michigan veterinarian. Choose them. We recommend them. Or a Augusta, Georgia kids catering party, anything like that. Okay? Now, with that in mind, let's talk about how much money there is in that and how few searches it takes and how Longtail works incredibly well. For the people who say, but that's strange because you still have to beat Google Places, the answer is no, you don't. As a matter of fact, let me show you. With no Google Places at all, I took a homeopath in Wisconsin. I think you guys have seen this. Okay, many of you have. Let me just open this up. I did a run that took me 20 minutes, and I waited. And after a couple of weeks, it kicked in. Now before, she could only show up for her name because her name just happens to be very, very unique. Krista Voicest, V-O-Y-S-E-S-T. I have to spell it for everyone if they go to type it into Google because it's an unusual name. And they know many people to search for her. And so there's the eyeball search for her here and there. But the majority of these searches you happen to see right now on this page, okay, and let me just supersize it if I need, okay, just to try to make it really, really clear. Look at this. Alternative doctor near Munster, Indiana. I'm not even sure what the deal is. Okay, she could never show up for that. Now she's got 2 visits. Now somebody who's searching for an alternative doctor all by itself, just the generic term, might be interested in kind of researching it. Someone who's searching for an alternative doctor near Munster, Indiana, most likely lives in or near Munster, Indiana. So for those of you living there, think of your neighbor again. And chances are very good they're interested in speaking with one, probably getting services with one. That is a sales inquiry leading to a sale if you can come up for them. and convert them, right? And they're much closer to conversion because they're not interested in something generic like this, which may also lead to a sale, but this is pretty generic, the search, so who knows what they're looking for. I tell people this all the time, it's true. People say 75% of the search traffic is for the generic term, 25% is for the longer tail. There's two parts to that. One part, some of the people doing the generic search are the actual suppliers themselves. 2 or 3 times a day, 20 suppliers are going to search the general term just to see if they're still there. So they're making sure that their AdWords are on the page, or that where they show up organically, or what position they're in Google Places. 2 or 3 times a day. If you've got 2 times a day times 20 guys, that's 40 searches a day all month long. That's 1,200 searches a month. So subtract that off because they're not buyers. They're the suppliers just making sure they're there. Now, that leaves us less than 75% of the searches that are generic. What about the rest? A lot of people start off by typing something very generic in to get their footing. Google counts that, but then from that, they come up with something closer to the shot. Like, for instance, somebody may start with typing homeopathy and get the book. Google's going to count that hit on homeopathy. That is one such search, and a lot of people start that way. Other people say, well, wait a minute. I'm looking for one in or around me, probably not my city, so they might do a search like that. Then they realize that they're looking for something more specific. So this is search number 2, by the way, but by now it's getting a little deviated. Now some people are going to search for homeopathy Wisconsin, other people for Wisconsin homeopathy, other people for Wisconsin homeopathic practitioner, whatever it is, and then other people jump the punch and actually put in a city name. The same person who typed in homeopathy Wisconsin may follow up by also typing in practice homeopathy Wisconsin. And this is where you know that that person's probably serious about making a purchase, and whatever comes up they're going to choose from, they're probably going to get around to buying. Here's another one, Beloit, Wisconsin homeopathic. That's the city she's in anyway. You can almost guarantee that that person is showing up at her door. Okay? Now, still, there's different terms. Classical homeopathy Arkansas. There, and she does homeopathy sessions by Skype. So it doesn't matter where they are. She can help them anyway. They do not need to drive to see her. Okay. Good homeopathic doctors in Birmingham. What is that? Birmingham, Iowa. I'm sure there is one. There might be a Birmingham, Michigan, a Birmingham, Wisconsin. There's probably 4 or 5 Birminghams in the nation. What do I know? Okay. Holistic Doctor, Three Rivers, Michigan. Again, she does Skype with all these guys. Now think about this. These guys, most of them, are very close to making a purchase already. They are seriously searching for somebody to help them out. What's that mean? That means if we look here and just kind of count this up, there's probably 100 searches, and that's this month, okay? April 1st to April 25th, all right? And it's the 28th now. I haven't done a new screenshot. She's getting more. But here's the point. For this month, there must be like 100 searches that I got to her with a 20-minute job I did. And after that, just waiting for Google to index the pages and then watching the traffic build up like this. Just watching it build up. Okay? Now, this is just for 6 states. I did 6 projects, 1 per state, on her site. So I hit all the cities in each state times 6 states. That gets her like 100 new searches a month. Now, because they're long tail like this, the conversion rate, the conversion ratio to get the sale is going to be way, way higher than the generic keyword. I always tell people 100 searches like this, these longer tails, the sales conversion you get out of it is like the equivalent of 4,000 generic searches. Because when somebody types in something generic, then it's a very fuzzy search, and therefore the results they get are vague, and chances are good they're not seeing what they're looking for yet. Those people who go further and hit it with specific things, all right? Classical homeopathy Arkansas, constitutions, I don't know, oddball searches, but a lot of them are great. Holistic New London, Iowa, Holistic Dr. Three Rivers, Michigan, Holistic Huntston, Wisconsin, Homeopathic Wisconsin, Homeopathic Alternative, Homeopathic Northwest Indiana. All these things, so many of them lead to sales. What if she gets 10 new clients out of those 6 states? Okay, now let's talk numbers, because for everyone who thinks you have to have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hits to make any sales that mean anything, let's do the math. Here's how we're going to do the math. I happen to know that she charges, I believe it's $300 for a first session to get to know the client and get all the records down. It's like a 2-hour long conversation on Skype or on their telephone to really get their information dialed in, get to know them, get to know what they're like, what their history is. It's like $300 for the first session. Then every additional session is like $65 each for the rest of time. That's year after year after year. Now, her average is something like 300 plus a handful of 65 sessions in the first year, where somebody will call every time they have a different kind of a headache, or they cut themselves, or they rubbed up against poison ivy, and they're like, what do I take now? And they'll call her because it's way cheaper than going to the hospital, for one thing. And they trust her judgment because they like what she did for them last time. They come back to see what she can do for them next. So her average client probably earns her, each client, this is the average client, some more, some less, $625 the first year. Okay, this is just people paying the $300, getting help the first time, then coming back a few more times during the year, maybe 4. And then every year following that, for as long as they keep up with her at all, and since she does her stuff on Skype, it doesn't matter if they move or not. If they like her, they'll come back. Could be 2, 3, 4 years. That's about $325 a year, because they'll come back for a handful of sessions over each additional year. So every new client, if we said that was an average times 3 years equals, and we added in the original $625 for the first year, then every new client is worth about $1,600 to her on average. Again, some more, some less, over the course of 4 years. So she's making like $400 a year per client, $400 per year per client on average. If she does the math on her client profile and what her payments are like from clients she has, she probably sees a kind of a number. Okay. Now, out of 100 visitors for this month, let's say we have a 10% conversion ratio, because it's not generic searches which have more like a 2%, 1%, 0.5% conversion ratio. These are people going long tail. They know what they're looking for. They're going to see a page that says what they typed, and that page is going to ring true. And when they click on it, it's going to say go to her, and they click on the image to go to her. That's what our pages do. They refer the traffic to her. We build our own websites that we rank. We don't even have to touch the client website anymore. And when people come to our websites naturally from these searches, then they are presented with a very simple action to take, and it's obviously click the image in the middle of the page that says this is the top recommended person that we have in your area. So it all makes sense to their search. Homeopathist, Fishers, Indiana, if they search that, they saw a page that said something like that in the page title. When they click on it, it gives them a page that keeps saying, we're the finest homeopaths in Fisher, Indiana, or for the best recommended, whatever it says click the image. And they click the image. We have like a 95% click-through rate on that image for most of our projects. All right, that's the kind of thing that's going on now. At least I should say some of our projects. I mean, however many people are doing this can report stats, but it's huge, it's high. And when you see the page, you understand why. It's simple. And it takes them right there. So they land on the site knowing it's the right thing. So as long as these keywords really do relate to the company, the match is excellent. They know they're in the right place. They're going to continue to do whatever they do. Read some stuff on the site, probably give her a call, send her an email, hit a PayPal button, join her newsletter, whatever it is that the company sets up. Okay? So if she gets 10 new clients, 10, how much is that? She can expect over the 4 years, like 1,600 times 10. Okay? That's 16,000. That's for this month. And let's back up a minute. Let's say 625 the first year times 10. 6,250 that she adds this month. Okay? So for people looking for numbers you can live on, 10 new clients can mean on average to her 6,250. Now, next month, this curve continues. More of this happens. More brand new people who never heard of her before hear of her now and click through and follow through. And if we assume an average and we say that people are doing that 10 months out of the year, outside of summer vacation and Christmas when they have other things on the agenda, then let's say we get the same 10 buy for 10 months. 62,500 the first year plus, and it's 32,500 times 3 really, which is like, well, you know, or I'm sorry, 32,500 times 3. Okay, so like an additional 100 grand. So it's like 162,500 or so she's earning in expected business, 62,500 for the first year. And that is, again, off of how many states I have run this through on? 6. 6. Okay, let's just look at first year profits again. 62,500. Now, if I take this project and expand it out across the rest of the continental U.S., that's 8 times as many states, 48 states. 6 times 8 is 48. Assuming the average results, and there's no reason not to, because this is a nationwide, similarly impacting thing. And in depressed areas where people really cannot afford to go to the hospital, this kind of thing will be searched more and more over time. Homeopathy is more of a thing than it used to be. Okay, you could say, at least on the internet. I'll put it that way. So if I do this all the way out across the nation to really get her busy, it would just take me a couple more hours and then just wait for the pages to index. It's like the total work I put into her. She could make $500,000 the first year, and something like 40% of that, maybe 300K, times 3 more years, like another 900K. So if I do this big run for her exclusively and not her competitors, and she's looking at making as much as 500K the first year, plus 300K times 3 on average. That's what her average return is. Then how much could I charge her for it? Basically anything I want that she could afford. I mean, if I charged her 250K up front, yes, it would be worth it. Except that she may not have 250K, and I don't need to be greedy like that anyway. I can charge her 5K. And I can decide whether to do it for just those 6 states on the 5K and help her improve her return just here. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you how you do that. When a client comes in and you're working with a client and you do a test, let's take Homeopathic Doctors Armada MI. Okay, let's just see what we see. Okay, Homeopathic Doctors, how'd you spell that? Armada MI. Okay, fine. Armada MI. All right, she may show up with or without the Armada part. Here she is. Matter of fact, look, what if I kicked it off? Would it still work? Armada sounds like a pretty unusual name. Yeah, she's there anyway. Even as holistic practitioner, you know, she's got so many words she shows up for, and that's the point. We spread the net so incredibly wide that we capture all the fish, no matter which way they're swimming, no matter if they're miles apart. If they're going in the same general direction, if they're in our waters, we got a page for them. So then they see it, it says what they thought, it says what they typed, and that's the point up here, right? That's why they clicked on it. This said Armada, Michigan, close enough, holistic practitioner, right? And it basically says this is the most recommended company. It beats just Yellow Pages, which is just saying, hey, there's fine phone numbers, addresses, maps, but no one particular. And this one is obviously just telling you about Armada, Michigan. Description: Armada is a village in Macomb County in the U.S. state of Michigan. The first good result was this. Notice how it beats Google Places in this case. This particular keyword, this page is so optimized for what that guy searched, it actually outranked Google Place pages. Okay, this is just one page, by the way. What happens? The guy clicks it. Okay, and for instance, it can go right to her site. And that's because I had a lot of pages that I took down but Google indexed because I wanted to do something else with the pages, and I happened to take this one down. Google still indexes it. I actually thought that Google wasn't indexing the pages because I wasn't patient, so I redid the URL breakdown. For those of you who know what that is, came up with a different URL structure, and then I put that up, and Google indexes both sets, and I smacked myself on the forehead, so I had to use an error document 404 redirect. Any broken pages, redirect to her site. Now I've got them redirecting to her main page. Here's the thing, and before it was redirecting exactly to her main page. I literally made this change today. It would redirect here. Here's the problem. They're looking for Armada, Michigan, but she's in Wisconsin, and it says 608, okay, area code. That's not Michigan. So somebody landing here would think, Oh man, I guess I have to drive all the way over there to meet her. Can I find someone closer, right? Armada, Michigan. Well, that's when I realized I'm making a mistake. I need to have her pages, the ones that come up, be this other page on her site called consultation. That's this one. And that page says homeopathic consultation. Right away, it gets into what it's all about. And then it says taking cases over the phone and through Skype sessions. Oh, people do not need to drive out to see her. The reason I did the redirection is because she was excited about people calling her from Indiana, Michigan, Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, whatever, except that so many kept asking, do I have to drive in to see you? All right, so they saw her front page, saw her phone number, gave her a call. And she had to explain, no, I do Skype sessions, homeopathic consultation through Skype and so on. Better to start them off on this page. She takes PayPal and does it over Skype for anyone, anywhere in the world, if they speak English or Spanish in her case. And so they can start off here and see all this and realize what's possible. And then they can learn about her if they want, already knowing they do not need to drive to see her. They just want to know more about her and whether they like her. They can read the testimonials, everything else. But then they can come back and find this bit here. They can go back to the homepage and give her a call and schedule a session. She's got a client. So just by making the simple change to have the pages go to her consultation page instead of the main page, I made double her conversion ratio. I made triple her conversion ratio. She may make a whole lot more just from that little tweak, which I did about 45 minutes ago. So time will tell on that one. This is called servicing a client. Testing little things, making little tweaks, trying out little things that help really align it better, make more sense out of things. Maybe if a page should say something, I could even add it. If I could say, hey, let's take this here and let's say something that helps people immediately know that they don't have to drive to see you. Homeopathic consultation via Skype, okay? And then continue with it, but let's put it right up here. That might improve her sales ratio still more. This is small stuff. I don't even have to have access to her site. All I have to do is give her a little advice, and then we can test the results. And that's if I feel like doing it. Chances are, it'll just take a tweak or two to get so much business hitting her that she'll actually have to say, thank you so much, but I can't handle it. I'm booked. Solid. I cannot keep up. Now that's easy. How long did it take to make this happen for her? It took 20 minutes to build the project and put it out there basically. Okay, it took me a little more time to set up the subdomains and come up with the variant profile. So it probably took me like an hour. An hour. Now, what do we do now? We create websites first in 20 minutes about whatever we want. Whether it's homeopathy, landscaping, plumbing, roofing contractors, kids' parties, birthday clown, financial advisor, CPA, anything you can think of. We build the site first, 20 minutes. That's funny, isn't it? Because the site's already built. You just plug and chug keywords, a company name that you want or a generic fill-in name, and the geo-targeting you want, and then you hit a go button, really. Just add your FTP and hit go, okay? And it does it for you. And then you just wait for Google to index it, and it's got visitor tracking code on it. So for those of you who use that, you change the visitor tracking code to your own, you can see these charts. What do you think I can do with a screenshot? I can send it to any homeopath outside of her immediate reach or outside of her designated area. It's whatever she's paying for. If she's paying for nationwide coverage or 6-state coverage or 1-state coverage. And so whatever we agree on, then I can take this outside of her area of reach to people who would be competitors, but they're not. They're other homeopaths outside her area of reach. And I can just say, look what I did for this company. They're getting searches like this, which lead to conversions, and I can do this job for you too for whatever, $5,000, okay? That's an idea. Let me give you one that's even better. What if you do the website for just a dummy page? You don't even attach it to anyone. Look at this. I did another one for Washington landscaping. Landscaping in the state of Washington, generally speaking in this area, Tukwila, Sammamish, Issaquah. This is where I live, by the way, Mercer Island. I just felt like doing it for someone local. Bellevue, okay, Seattle, Kent, all these cities, and Covington, all right, whatever else shows up in the list. 635. This is a sample now. I scraped it to check it out. These are the pages that come up on this position on the front page for these keywords. Okay, that's 635 front page results. It took me 20 minutes, and this is a sample. There's more like 8,000 front page results, but you get the point by 635. Now I said front page. What about cases like 16 here? That's for Google Places. This is my own homegrown checker that I use and run in math, so I can get this stuff done in a moment. I just have it, but I can't sell it because it works on software that doesn't even, you can't install it anymore. It's unfortunate, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It counts right through these 8, 9, 10, whatever it is, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There it is, like 15 or 16, right? That's the point. 15 or 16, that's what that was. That's why it shows a number that is big as 16, even though it's still on the front page. Same thing. Tukwila Landscapers. That's a general keyword, isn't it? Tukwila Landscapers. Where am I at there? Got to be near the bottom. It's 17, right? And you see it right there. It's not even at the bottom. Tukwila Landscapers find supplier in Tukwila. Landscapers Company offers a complete solution for landscaper services to prospects in the greater Tukwila metro region by always remaining on par with a blah, 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 blah. And you click it. And what's it do? Takes you to, let's see, our site. Our site says Tukwila Landscapers. It keeps talking about it. Tukwila Landscapers, the recommended company is whatever we put for the company name on this project. We got thousands of pages that basically look like this, but they're different. They use the MOWG system, and so they are unique pages. They're different HTML pages, not redirects. All these pages are real, and they all use one single redirect page, and that one redirect page is where I put the link where I want all these pages to point to. The whole thing says click the picture for the great landscapers, whatever, serving Tukwila. It's just filled in whatever the keyword was for that page. No one cares. They think it's a misprint, but they get the idea. And I just grabbed this image from Google Images. How did I do it? I did this. I went to google.com. chose images, and I looked for Washington or even like Seattle. I needed the flora and fauna that fit this place, right? Landscaping, but I didn't want to use something from a company that was in the area already. So I needed to find something that would be generic enough to be either in Seattle or a surrounding city, and any of this will work, okay? Any of this will work, except I went with not just show the standard sizes, because some of these images are too small. They're like tiny little banners. Okay, these happen to be big, but I just went show sizes, and I said large. I can always crop it down, but I just need to grab a big enough image that I can work from. That looked a little too much like a city image, so I just went through and found an image I want. Once I found the image I wanted, which was whatever it was, then I could just save the target, save the picture as. I could stick it where I want so I can work with it, and I can crop it down, and I can toss it in my file for my project, and that's how all that works. But take a look at this. I'll show you something else. You get like 1, 2, 3, and then there's something else, and then there's 4. Look at this. Tukwila front yard landscaping, backyard landscaping. Watch this. If I go to one of those, Google, and I just do it, okay? 730,000 results. I am 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm the 4 top out of 730,000 competing entries for Tukwila backyard landscaping. It took me, again, that 20 minutes to create this project that goes to them wherever I have this thing clicked through to. Okay? Wherever they are. Now, I haven't even told the landscapers this is here yet. Before I show you anything more, is there any reason for them to think it's a scam? No, I mean, they might have a couple of questions. They'll call me and say, are these redirect pages? No, they're not. They're hard-coded HTML pages, and so on and so forth. But take a look. I am covering tons of keywords that anyone could type. This is very much like that homeopathy example. It's the same idea. Whatever I wanted to put for my keywords shows up here, and I just keep hitting the button to produce more pages. Okay? That gave me all these completely URL optimized, entirely different page links that go for each one of these things that continues with the topic, and these pages rank, and they rank hard. Now, if I send a copy of this right here, if I send a copy of that Excel file right there to 5 landscapers at the same time saying check it yourself, click on any of these keywords, copy it, and go do the search in Google. Take one of these for Seattle or Sammamish or whatever city you want, and just copy it and go to Google and see if you see that page appear to this site. I'm going to get all these pages to redirect to you, which you do with just one change in one file. You don't have to tell them that. I got all the pages to redirect to you if you're the one who buys it, and then none of your competitors can have it. I'll only work with you in this area for the rest of the year. After that, it'll be a nominal fee for re-apping if you want it. If not, it goes to someone else. First buyer gets it. And that is incredibly awesome. And I made it even easier. Right now, I put in a dummy page. If you click, guess what it says? This is for the people who are looking for themselves and wondering who the new competitors are. And when I call them and tell them to check it out, they can see how it works already. I'm talking to 5 clients. I'll say, I am talking to 5 of you today. I'll send an email to 5 of them with that Excel sheet as an attachment. I'm not going to cold call them. I don't know how to cold call now. I don't need to. I just simply let them know it's there. Anyone think that's spamming? Heck no. This is about those guys. I'll send them one email and that's it. That's their only chance. I can even make it clear in the email in a polite way that this is it. It's about them. I'm only sending it to landscapers in this area, in Tukwila, Covington, whatever. I can do 5 at a time and just say, hey, I can say anything. I say 48 hours before I show it to 5 more guys. First guy to buy it gets it. Guess what this page says? See your website here instead. And then it explains, don't pay for Google AdWords, right? Get free, highly targeted traffic from Google, Bing, and Yahoo. It's true. That's how that goes. Our pages are showing up on them. And buy it, and you get it. You got to be the first guy to buy it. Now, if they realize that they're staring at this and understand what you showed them on that Excel file and how all this leads to them, and all this looks fair and understandable, the page is readable. Google's fine with the way this is done. It's just for a visitor. The most obvious thing to do is this. If they click a side link, that's fine. It goes somewhere else. And the visitor thinks, oh, they also do that. But whatever it is, they do what I want, and so they can click it. No matter where they go, what they read, it's all readable. It's all proper English. No matter what they click on, it gives them a page that keeps inviting them to click the image. They will click. This is why we have like a 95% click-through rate on a lot of projects on that image. Whatever image we want to put in there. That's what I mean. I just got it from Google Images. Okay? I just stuck it in. Big fat hairy deal. That's so awesome. Then I just offered to the first, 5 landscapers. If they want to use a new image, that's easy. I'll just upload their new image to overwrite this one on FTP. It'll be the same name, landscape.jpg. I'll just save it as a JPG image with a screensaver or something, unless they provide me with a JPG image that they want from their website, so that the match is clear. So when people click on it, they still see this image on the final website. That's just a better match, better for conversions. And I'll just rename this image with that on the FTP server. And so all of these thousands of pages, there are thousands, will show their image, and will click through. Instead of to this page, the first guy to buy it, they put their first and last name, a phone number. They can buy it with a Visa, a MasterCard, PayPal, whatever they want. It's all this stuff down here. They can buy it with any of that. First guy to get it gets my year. For the rest of the year, they're the ones who beat everyone else cash to the table. I work exclusively with them. The next landscaper to call me and say, hey, I missed, I'm sorry. I was dragging my feet and tire kicking and had a bunch of questions for you I was going to ask you. Sorry, man, it's just too late. If you have some other business that doesn't compete with landscaping, or if you work completely outside the geographic reach of my client, then I can do a job for you there. But I cannot let you do landscaping here. The other guy beat you to the punch. So sorry. And you can do that. You can even offer them a resale and say, if you can refer another client for something else, then I can help you, that client, and that client can split commissions with you for bringing this to the table. That client can buy that package, and you guys can share on the cash in. That way you can earn money from a different industry. Whoever you work with, it could be anything. Again, an Italian restaurant. It could be the kids' parties, the clown. I mean, think of all the things that I could be showing up for if I wanted to. I can easily think of 50 industries. And if each one took like a quarter of the nation, that's like 150 cities. There's like 500 per state. I'm sorry, quarter of the nation, a quarter of a state. So I do one for the Northwest, one for the Northeast, one for the Southwest, one for the Southeast. So I capture all the Cs in the Northwest, Northeast, Southwest, Southeast. That's 4 runs, 4 clients I can have per state times however many industries, like 50. Heck, that's 200 per state. 200 per state times 50 states. That's like 10,000 different ones of these I can sell, literally, for whatever price I want. I can price this on a subscription for $500 a month. I can price with a certain amount down if I want. PayPal has all this built into the way their buttons work. You can create a button to say a certain amount down, then a certain amount per month. And if they should ever fail to pay at that point, what do? I just redirect the link through my one redirect file. You can even see it pop up down here. It's just a single redirect.html file on the server. I just changed the URL to point to the next guy. That guy who missed, who called and said he was so sorry. I could call him back and say, man, first guy failed to pay. I tried to reach him, couldn't reach him. He must be so busy with clients, he doesn't need to keep paying me. He's booked. Do you want it? It's open. And the guy says, heck yeah, and boom, he pays. So you keep the project going. 20 minutes per project. So if you can do 3 of these an hour, then you can cover 30 industries in 30 hours of work. 30 industries per geo-targeted section. And if you expand your geo-targeting out, you can cover the whole nation times however many industries, and all you're doing is waiting for 2 things to happen. 1, Google to show this, so you can just put a bunch of samples on an Excel sheet. You don't need 635. Just put a few on there that shows some link, where it is on the front page, what the keyword is, and the date, for instance. Just even 20 will do. Just go do some searches yourself, you know, for things you come up for. And that's what I mean. Take a look. Here's how I would do it if I didn't have that tool. I mean, it's so easy. Psych industry-leaders.net. That's actually the name of the site. That should give you a clue. I'm going to put a bunch of different projects on one domain, control all those projects myself. People rent these spots from me for a year for whatever the fee is I charge them. I'm going to charge them a flat down, and not even a monthly. I don't believe in that. I believe in flat down, so that people can realize that the risk begins and ends with this number. And that way they don't have to think, oh man, $500 every month, what if I don't have it? You know, that's just unnecessary. I just add all that up and then bring it back to a present value and just give it a number. It could be 5,000, it could be 2,500. If I did this for a bicycle repair guy who only makes 15 bucks profit on average per, maybe 20, per bicycle repair, and he's in some small city, so he's only going to get like 5 guys a day at the most or whatever it is, and his profit's like just a few hundred a day, maybe 20 guys a day, I don't know, at the most, and that's it. Then I can price this down for him. I can sell him his run for a lot less. Again, 20 minutes to build a project, maybe 40 minutes to find a buyer. How do you find a buyer? Tell 5 people at the same time, make sure they all know other people are looking, and the first person to jump is that first person to get it. No one else gets it. That's it. It's over. The page is going to redirect somewhere else now, and that's it. So sorry. Okay? And you will get a buyer every single time. You'll get it very fast because there's nothing scammy about it. This makes sense. Nobody looks this up, but they look up your keywords you had from your list. How do you see what you show up for? Just try it. Try something like this. Seattle WA landscape design. Copy. I just took part of the page title. I didn't take the high quality service provider. I just took Seattle WA landscape design. Now that's probably more competitive. I may not be on the front page for that one. But if I am, man, I want to know. And I found that I was beating Google Places on a number of these things too, but I could be on the front page for that one. Oh, I hope so, but no, I'm not. Doesn't matter if I'm not. That's the other thing about this business. What you're doing here, you don't have to worry about what you could be on the front page for. All you worry about is what you are on the front page for. Let's try something like this. Okay, copy. Because whatever you are on the front page for is what you get to show them, a bunch of samples like that. But most importantly, and look, I take the top 2 spots right away. Either one of these, you click it, you click that, and it would go to their website. Whoever buys it, it will go to their website. That guy's going to own it. Now, I can go into PayPal and change the amount I'm willing to sell that for, project by project by project if I want. What do I need to show the client? This. He doesn't need to care about possibilities. He doesn't need to say, can you get me up for a certain keyword? The answer is, I can try, but if I fail to, It won't matter because I can keep pumping out more runs. It took me 20 minutes to create this curve. Well, fine. I can do this once a week. Keep hitting the button. You're going to wind up just doubling, tripling up on this curve anyway. So who cares what keyword I get you up for? These guys, most of them, this is going to be a high conversion ratio because they're long tail searches. All right. How many clients does it take you to recover the cost? If you sold the thing to a guy, even meagerly, even for $2,800, and the guy makes an average of $1,500 per client, and he has 2 clients, maybe 3, like a landscaper, that's how they would go. They make like $1,000 or $1,500 profit per client. Sometimes they make $2,500 or $5,000 per client. And then those guys are going to keep coming back anyway over the next year. So they will make their money on the back end, a lot of it. It will take them 1 or 2 clients of all of this. Now that's what I mean. When you show someone this for their industry and say, how many of guys from this does it take converting on average, the profit you make on average per client, how many does it take for you to make your money back? Say the guy says 3. The answer is, if all these people came to your site, do you think you'd have 3 conversions? If the guy says yes, say, then you make your money back and everything beyond that's profit, right? Yes. This is from April 1st to April 25th. This doesn't even cover a complete month. If you make 3 sales a month for the next 11 months after recovering your entire cash the first month, how much would that be? Well, if it's $1,500 times 11 months, that's $16,500 additional profit the guy makes, and he has less work to do marketing. He has less marketing budget. He could probably even drop some of his Google AdWords and save more money, right? And what if you went wider for him? Then he can make a lot more. Think he's going to give you a testimonial and be darn happy he bought your thing? Yeah. Is there any strangeness to this? No, these are the hits that got to the website. Okay, these are the people doing their own searches who got to the website. Okay, and if you ever wonder if that's possible, just take any of these keywords, type them into Google, and see if you show up on the front page. When you do, you realize this is real. This is very, very, very real. And the same thing with exactly just saying, here is a sample of things you show up on the front page for. Go look and prove it to yourself. You will have buyers. Now, would you rather be trying to sell the internet money-making opportunity like Mike Filsame's butterfly effect and hopefully make 25 bucks a sale or 50 bucks a sale and maybe make a few of those a week, maybe manage 150, and then your competitors catch up and push you back down, you have to fight to get back up, and you're trying to make a couple of $100 a week? Or would you rather cram out projects like this one that you can sell for $5,000 each without question, that take you 20 minutes to do, maybe 30, 2 or 3 an hour? It's as long as you don't get exhausted, keep pounding them out. As Google indexes them, it just takes you a while to sell them off by simply sending emails to some guy saying what you already did. I can already have that traffic curve for this Seattle landscaping project where all these people that are clicking clicked the image and saw the destination page, just said first buyer gets it. For all I know, the phone call could be a buyer. That's the point. That's incredible money. That can be $5,000 for 20 minutes of work plus 40 minutes of finding a buyer, $5,000 per hour, times like 3 a day if that's what you want. There you go. I'm done talking. I'm going to let it go. Just realize the price is going up. I'm going to call this person back, call an end to this video, put it up, and you get the point. I think right now you see something far more important. You could be making a couple of $100 a month with some silly internet money-making opportunity potential thing that everyone looks at and thinks maybe it's a scam. Or you can already create front page results for anything you want and just offer to the landscapers. Guys who look at your internet money making opportunity are probably broke. That's why they're trying to make money online. Very often that's happening. They're unemployed or they're afraid of being unemployed and they only have a couple of $100 to work with. So you need a lot of them to make money. A landscaping company who makes probably $2,500 to $5,000 on average, not the low end, not the high end, the average, the middle marker per client. Okay. These guys have like $150K lying around to buy any kind of good marketing channels with. Justify what you charge, some fair price, sell it. Now I can do this all day long. This is the best money you can make. Know a guy who got 20 firm commits to buy websites that he ran out just like this at $5K a pop in a month. That's $100,000 plus another 10 potentials, another 50. It's huge. $150,000 a month. That's the possibility here. So drop the money-making opportunity stuff and go for this stuff instead, absolutely easy to make a great deal. All right, looking forward to seeing you on the inside. The price of the software is going to go up because we're going to have to throttle it down, because as you can see, if you can do this in 20 minutes for anything you want, anywhere you want in the nation, any industry, anything, again, the kids clown, then we need to throttle down the release of the software. People are going to start to trip over each other, and we're not servicing our people very well. The guys who get in now, get in at whatever the price is now, and you're in at a better price than the guys who are going to follow you later. You can bet. And you get all the updates free either way. All right, that's all I had to show you. I know my my youngest son's on the phone with my mom, and they were waiting for me to wrap this up, so I shall wrap it up. You have yourselves a good day. Looking forward to seeing you on the inside. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care.